Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and for this video right here, I actually found a credit card that allows you to pay your rent without any fees or jumping over any loops. Even, for example, if your entire landlord does not accept Plastiq, okay? There is a way to pay your rent with a credit card. That's awesome. And also earn rewards. Now, before we get started on this video and I tell you all the information on this credit card and how it actually works, I want to start off with a little story. Now, if you guys don't know, fun fact is the creator and founder of Walmart was named Sam Walton. I say was because he is no longer here with us, okay? Now, Sam Walton was a marketing genius, okay? Marketing genius. Now, he had this little scheme he did all the time, which is called kind of like the bait and switch, but not really any crazy switch. So what he did was basically, he would advertise three main items: electronics, panties, and also toothpaste. Yeah, you heard me correctly. And he would put, for example, like these massive discounts on these items. But again, it was limited stock, maybe like 100, 200 of them. That was about it, okay? Maybe like 50 TVs or whatever. Now, whenever people actually came in and flooded the entire store looking for those items and they bought them up, what happened when people came in and did not find them? Well, they're already at the store, already drove there, so they basically buy everything else in the store and made Sam Walton a lot of money. It's a bait because you're going for that item. It's no longer there, it's been bought up, but now you're already there and you basically buy everything there. Now, why do I say this? Because guess what? Although this credit card has this cool feature of, hey, I get paid money to pay my rent, and my rent is one of the most expensive things I actually have, so why not get rewards, get me some free dinner, some free Uber rides, or for example, a free vacation or free hotel? Well, again, that's the bait. We're gonna find that exactly, well, how does this company make money? How does it benefit them? And what's the trick to this entire thing right here? And is there one, okay? Is there one, okay? We're gonna find in this video, guys, okay? Now, if you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, also, if you guys are here for the long term, like the long-term team is, smash the like button because it does help a lot with the videos. Now, the company I'm talking about, guys, is called Bilt, okay? Now, not built as in I built something, but B-I-L-T. I pronounce it Bilt. I don't know how you guys pronounce it, but to me it sounds like Bilt, okay? B-I-L-T. Now, this company is promising something. It's promising rewards for the renters out there, meaning you're able to use their credit card or their account to actually go ahead and pay your rent. Now, they have this massive network of a lot of apartment building companies with over on 2 million apartments that actually allow you to pay the rent. So that sounds amazing. And also get rewards while you actually pay the rent without having to worry about any transaction fees, neither for you or, for example, for your landlord. And that is awesome because, as you know, landlords don't want any expenses anymore, okay? Or any fees whatsoever. They just want their money and call it a day. Give me a check or just give me cash. That's what they actually want. Now, what are the benefits of this credit card? And what are they actually offering you? Well, there is a few of them, okay? The first benefit is obviously no transaction fee plus rewards on your rent payments, okay? That's awesome. It's gonna be basically more or less like the first credit card we actually see doing this without any like loops to actually jump around. Number two, the landlord doesn't have to accept Plastiq. Meaning, if I wanna pay with my credit card and say, hey, there is no fee to you, but they say, well, I'm old-fashioned, I don't want to do that, just give me cash or a check. Well, you can actually go in the app, in the Bilt app, and say, hey, they don't accept it, and they will personally send them a check at no charge to you, and you will still get the rewards that you actually deserve, okay? Although your landlord does not want to accept the Plastiq. So they get sent a check directly into their mailbox, which means you don't have to worry about it whatsoever, and you still get your rewards. On top of that, this company is also promising one thing, okay? They're basically trying to help you by making these bill payments, right? These rent payments. So they don't want you to go into debt with your rent payments. Meaning, well, if I have rent and I have, for example, pandemic happens, I can't pay rent, I put on my credit card for the next 12 months, doesn't happen, okay? It's not allowed. Why? Because they only allow one rent payment per cycle. Meaning, if you paid your rent with a credit card, you have to pay at the end of the month completely in order to go ahead and basically pay the next rent payment and get your rewards for the next one next month. You're not allowed to actually carry over a balance, at least for example, with the rent payments. And by the way, yes, you're able to buy random things. It doesn't just have to be, for example, rent payments. So if you want to buy dinner, if you want to just shop at a grocery store, if you want to go on a trip, you're actually able to do anything. It is a MasterCard, okay? You're able to buy whatever you want to buy. But when it comes to rent payments, you are limited to just one rent payment per month, and you have to pay it in full in order to go ahead and get the next rent payment and get rewarded for it. On top of that, you also get, for example, bonus points for renewing a lease, getting in new apartments, and I wouldn't be surprised if you get, for example, reward points for maintaining an on-time rent payment schedule. Okay, now how is this possible? Because again, guys, they work with a network of apartment buildings, and that way they kind of give you all of these little benefits and bonuses. Okay, but don't worry, I'm just talking about right now the good stuff. I will get to the bad stuff, the slimy stuff that I do not like about this Bilt credit card and this whole platform as a whole. But before I get there, there is one more benefit I want to talk about, okay? Some people are high risk, meaning they might not have, for example, the best credit out there, but they do have income coming in. So they're able to actually use the account like it was a debit card, meaning you can pay the rent with the credit card or whatever, but you get the points, but it uses itself as a debit card, meaning instantly they will request the money for the rent to pay that bill right away. So you get the bonus points, but you still have to pay it right away because you might be high risk. And again, because you are paying your rent, they go ahead and register those rent payments with the 3 bureaus out there to actually help you build credit. And that's going to be awesome, right? Meaning, if I make my rent payments, I'm going to get this boost in my credit score because it's actually registering it as a payment. And that's awesome, right? Overall, not bad, not bad, not bad. However, though, let's get into the slimy stuff, right? Tommy, if this company is doing all this stuff for us, what do they get, for example, in return? Because it just can't be all butterflies and rainbows. So here's how this company actually wins, okay? First of all, it's a credit card. So you can basically go ahead and buy other things, not just your rent, like I mentioned before. Meaning whenever you do buy, for example, at a grocery store, they get a transaction fee right there. On top of that, if you go ahead and buy a bunch of stuff, then you have, for example, a bunch of debt, guess what happens now? They're able to charge you interest, and interest means money in their pocket. Also, because they do have, for example, partnerships with apartment complexes, well, my theory is potentially that if I work with you and I put you on my whole network, and I basically say, hey, these people are going to get your apartment because basically they get bonus points from me. The answer is most likely they do have some kind of affiliate marketing going on. So I get you clients to actually go and live there, tenants, I should get some type of money back. So having like this whole reward system in a sense will potentially make them money. Again, that's an educated assumption. On top of that also, the whole goal here, if you guys notice this, hey, we want to get renters before they're what? Buyers. And that's when we're going to make a lot of money, right? So potentially this whole company, Bilt, can potentially become, for example, a whole mortgage company in the future, a whole loan company in the future. But for right now, they're basically being like a broker. So if it is come time to actually go ahead and buy a property, they'll help you kind of go ahead and find a bank to actually work with and act in a way kind of like a broker. And potentially that's also going to make them money by getting a loan from another person and them getting, for example, again, in a sense like affiliate marketing money, okay? That's the whole concept right there. So they do have a way to make money, getting you in debt, you buying other things out there, and having, for example, loads of partnerships. But not just that, guys, okay? If I'm being honest here, they're not the first company to actually do this, but it is kind of like the first credit card to actually do this on this whole larger scale. So you actually have a company called ESU, so that's ESUSU, and what they do is for free, they report your utilities, your phone bill, and also your rent payments, okay, to your credit bureaus. So that potentially goes ahead and basically raises your whole credit score. You also have MoCafi, which is MoCafi, and they also report your rent payments, utility payments will actually raise your credit score. They also have, for example, level credit credit, and they, for a fee of $7, do everything I just told you. I don't know why they charge money, but they do charge money. And lastly, you also have Plastiq. I haven't forgotten, right? Plastiq is a service where you're actually able to put your credit card there, to send a check, for example, to your landlord, but it does charge you 3% on that, okay? So it's kind of like, yeah, I can get money from my credit card using Plastiq, but it does cost me money, right? 3%, and that can be a lot of money. But this service right here is kind of like the first time you have a credit card that says, hey, you can pay your rent and not have to worry about any type of factors. You get rewarded on it, and there's no transaction fee whatsoever. And if your landlord does not accept it, we will send them a check at no fee to you. Now that sounds pretty awesome, right? So what's the problem here? And by the way, yeah, the company also offers you software to help you basically qualify for a mortgage, tell you how much you're going to afford, and everything else. And again, if you ask me, it sounds like this very big bet on tenants becoming home buyers and them eventually being, for example, at the front lines to catch those tenants before they become home buyers and make loads and loads of money from them. But before I go into all those details, I do want to mention something, okay, guys? The truth is that it sounds like, well, Tommy, if I can get rewards from paying my rent, is awesome. So if my rent is $1,200 per month, multiplied by 12, I pay somewhere around $14,400, right? So if I get, for example, 1 point per dollar, in reality, I can actually make somewhere like around $144, right? Not that bad. And again, I haven't seen anything what's saying like, hey, you can actually convert your points into cash. Most likely is going to be, for example, into their reward system, or even, for example, into having that money be used towards your next rent payment, or, for example, having that money be used for your next down payment on a home, which is actually pretty cool. But I don't see any signs of being able to use that money for cash. Just like plain cash is your money, doesn't matter. And by the way, your points don't expire. But that's what I would think, right? But in reality, that's not true. You don't get a point per dollar or a half point per dollar. It's just not how it works. In reality, if you guys know something, I say in reality a lot, but second, I don't like slimy tricks. I don't like companies that says, well, in order to get this, you got to refer 20 people. In order to get this, you got to spend this much money. I hate those things so much, okay? And by the way, the credit card does not have an annual fee. But what they do have is, for example, a tier list. Now, right here is a tier list, okay? And it basically says, if you have Bilt Basic, you get 250 points whenever you actually make a rent payment. That's it. Just 250 points. So if your rent is $1,000, doesn't matter. You just get 250 points. And 1 point on everything else that you actually buy that's actually not a rent payment. Why? Because they know for a fact your biggest expense is going to be your rent, right? But they know for a fact that if you buy other things, why not give you the bait of more points, but then you have the, the hook saying like, hey, guess what? If you don't pay on time, we charge you interest, okay? On top of that, they have the whole blue tier, meaning if I spend $250 on non-rent payment stuff, I get to actually get, for example, 1 point per $2 spent on rent. Basically, a half a point per dollar, okay? That's what they're saying there. So if my rent is $1,000, I get 500 points. That's the core idea there. But they also have the silver tier. And it says, if I spend $1,000 in this credit card, on things that are non-rent related, I'm gonna get 1 point per dollar. Exactly what we actually thought, but in order to get that, you gotta spend $1,000. Now, I don't know about you, I don't spend that much money on a credit card whatsoever, at all. Now, you also have the gold tier. You get 1.5 points per each dollar on rent, and guess what? You gotta spend $2,000, okay? You gotta be a very weird person. And also the platinum gives you 2 points per every dollar spent on rent, but you got to spend $3,500 every single month on everything else, okay? And by the way, there's a cap. You can only get up to 4,000 points per month on your rent. But in order to actually get that many points per month, in reality, you gotta spend a bunch of money. Meaning, hey, if I want to cap it at 4,000 points per month times 12, I get 48,000 points multiplied by 0.0. Let's just say 0.01 right there. It's 480 bucks. Maybe if you get 2 points, whatever, towards travel, $902 is a great vacation. Don't get me wrong here, but I gotta spend somewhere around maybe like $2,000, right, on other stuff that I'm actually not really interested in. Meaning I gotta I gotta spend nearly $24,000 just to make 480 bucks to $900. This is where you kind of get the hook to the bait, and I hate these tricks so much. And by the way, guys, although you might say, Tommy, well, by them reporting my rent payments, utilities, and all that stuff is gonna help me out a lot. In reality, when you're actually getting a mortgage, the bank considers all those things, okay? This just makes it, for example, more simple for the bank. But in reality, your rent, utilities, insurance, all those payments are registered because you have a history of receipts to actually show to the bank and actually help you qualify for a mortgage. So it's kind of like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. But it's something that's still going to be accounted for no matter what, okay? Now, honestly, Tommy, what do you think about this? Okay, well, at least you have benefits like, hey, you get DoorDash and Lyft discounts. You get like purchase protection for 90 days if you buy something over $1,000. I mean, under $1,000. And for example, if you buy a phone that's $1,000 or less, they actually protect it for you. So if you lose it or if it breaks, they actually help you repair it or get a new one. Now, the truth is this, guys, okay? In my opinion, what do I think? Am I gonna get this? Is it a scam? Is it not a scam? The answer is, it's not a scam. Let's just put that out there. But will I get this? The answer is no. It's like what this company is doing is they're making a massive bet. And what they're trying to do is basically acquire tenants right now before they actually become, for example, home buyers. And this way in the future, they can actually get crazy loans out to you to basically make a lot of money. Now, that's not to say it's a bad thing, but I think, for example, because I am, for example, like the average Joe, meaning I'm not spending a ton of money on my credit card per month, the answer is I'm just gonna get 250 points. Meaning, what am I gonna get, like $20, $30 per year by doing this whole thing? I'm just not interested, okay? If it was, for example, like, hey, I can use this credit card like a debit card, but on my rent, and I can get 1 point per dollar spent, that would be more attractive to me. But in reality, just getting 250 points and like all this tier list, all this nonsense, it just turns me the heck off. I hate those things, okay? Honestly, I just hate them. So overall, do I recommend it? The answer is no. I'm not gonna use it, so I can't recommend it to you. But if you do spend a lot of money on a credit card and you're into that stuff, then cool, kudos to you. But I personally, I use the one bill method to maintain my credit score and to build my credit score. Meaning, I have Netflix and my phone bill on my credit cards. They pay themselves off each month, and that's all I spend money on. So I'm not gonna spend $1,000 or $2,000 on my credit card or $1,000 per month. I barely spend $1,000 in total per month. So it just does not make sense for me. So overall, cool concept, but it's just not for me. I'm just not the right person. And by the way, not just that, guys, but truthfully in my heart, I really do believe that at some point this will become the norm. Like, it will become normal for just all landlords out there to just basically accept a debit card or a credit card or whatever it is. It's just where we actually head, and everything is going to be digital. All that cash stuff, all that check stuff, all that nonsense is going to evaporate or become obsolete pretty soon. So right now, they're kind of like diving in before everyone else, which is pretty cool. But in the future, I do think it's going to become more of the norm. Kind of like Robinhood has, no trading fees, and then E-Trade, everyone else kind of like follow suits. It's kind of like that. I think it's gonna become an industry norm. But overall, not my thing. Don't recommend it. Not for me. I hate tier lists. I hate these little tricks. I hate these little gimmicks. I cannot stand them. So long-term team, it's just not for me. But comment down below, guys, okay? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Comment down below. Let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. If you want to call me, I have a link down below. Click it. You can call me for free, by the way, or just send me a DM on Instagram at TommyBryson. And before I go, guys, watch this video right here on how to build credit, or for example, subscribe to the channel right here.